What's up, y'all? This is Jeffery, Jeffery TV, coming to you live on Memorex, default route, default location. After having spent 5 days at the undisclosed location, my mother, granddaughter, daughter, and my aunt, my mother's sister, hanging out, doing, I guess, family stuff, I guess, huh? It don't seem like family stuff because it seems more important, I guess. I don't know how to word it. Family stuff seems like a cookout, you know, playing cards, doing this, doing that. I don't know. But I just wanted to get on here and say, of probably one of many things, and I'm really not trying to brag. I really am in a sincere way. But I realize just how good my life is. My life is just good. My life is good. I mean, granddaughter wear you out. Don't get me wrong. Granddaughter gonna wear you out. Granddaughter gonna wear you out. But to be there the first time she do a roller coaster, to be there the first time you take her to a amusement park and she can run around, ride the rides, kiddie rides or whatever, and you can show her, go ahead, go get in line, go ahead. Come on up there, show them. And she learned how the protocol works, so she gotta stand there and, you know, get measured, make sure she got the height, how to wait in line. You know what I mean? Because I keep forgetting. You know, she 3. You know? I keep forgetting that she 3. And a lot of this stuff she has never experienced before. She don't know. You know, we just figure, well, I just figure, you know, she running around terrorizing us to death. You know, putting it on us, making us work, challenging us in this way or in this kind of aspect. You figure, oh yeah, take your bad ass out there and, you know, in the real world and do stuff. But then you see her, how she, her age or her inexperience. It's just pure inexperience too. It's just pure inexperience, just pure and simple. She look up like not knowing what to do. That's all it is. She look up, it's like not knowing what to do. Literally. So you feel good about that, to get that experience, to show her that, hey, look, you know, that's how that goes. That's how this works. And to see her learn, and to see her pick up stuff, and to see her, you know, get accustomed to stuff, and to get not comfortable, but, you know, kind of comfortable doing things and figuring them out. And she look back at you and look back at her mother and not knowing what to do. We tell her, no, go ahead. You know, and she get on the ride, and she try to do her buckle, you know, to buckle herself in, all that stuff, you know. All that kind of stuff. And see her run around, ride, just to see her. And then plus, you're out at a park. It was a nice park too, Castle Park, out on the riverside. It wasn't too crowded. Nice, good mix of people. It was good people. And you can just like let her kind of run around. Even her mother kind of relaxed a little bit and let her kind of, you know, it wasn't no hold my hand the whole time. You could just see her running around. You know, she keep her distance, she get farther away, but she, you know, you just get more comfortable with, you know, not having her tethered. You know, to be a part of that is, good morning. I guess to be a part of that, I guess I consider it to be more than just family stuff, but it probably is just family stuff. That's probably what, you know, people in regular families, not that my family ain't regular, more so that I am irregular when it comes to this stuff. And I'm getting the experience too, I guess. I'm gonna go to the doctor to see about this before it get too big. I don't know what it is. It don't hurt. I don't feel it. Feel like flesh. I mean, when I say it don't hurt, there's no stinging. There's no. It's not sensitive. It's just like a chunk of something. I'm gonna go have the doctor look at it, because I be seeing people with them things on their face. I be like, how come you ain't get that taken care of when it was little? How come you didn't cut that damn thing off when it was little? And I don't want to be that person. I mean, I ain't talking about like big as a baseball or nothing, but just big enough to where, hey, you should have went to the doctor and had that taken care of months ago. Thank you very much. But to be a part of all of that, to hang on my daughter, and to be able to throw her the keys and tell her, go get this, and don't even worry about it. Let her jump in the car, California, whatever. Just go, take it, go. You want in and out, go. Go here, do that. Is she capable? She got a few dollars in her pocket. That means she can at least pay for it up front and the invoice be later, because I'm sure, I know in fact I'm getting an invoice. I know I'm getting an invoice for this or that. Because to be honest with you, my father set the precedent. He set the precedent where whenever you went with him, he always paid. Always paid for everything. All the time, unequivocally, don't even ask. He always paid for everything. Always. And they grew up on that. I grew up on that. And I do have a certain sense, of responsibility when it comes that way. A lot of ways, because that's how I saw he did it. And a lot of ways another reason is that I'm in a position to do it myself because of him. In a lot of ways. In a lot of inheritance ways. So I don't mind passing the wealth. I don't mind passing the wealth, but I'm still stingy and critical and looking at stuff, and I just ain't going willy-nilly on too much of nothing. Even though the other day I was kind of tired and I spent $56 on having a pizza and some wings delivered. I just didn't feel like moving. I didn't get my steps that day. I didn't feel like getting out of bed. I was just like, not today. I can't today. So. And the pizza was good. It was good too. Wings was good too. I mean, it was, it was good. It was big enough to where I could eat on it, like pizza for 2 days, I think. I didn't eat it all up at once, basically. Almost, but not all. So, I do splurge on myself every now and then. And I will buy my apps and software and stuff for my computer, microphones, cameras, but even them I get cheap. I don't go out and buy the best ones, but I did spend $300 a piece on the Mevos. I did spend $1,000, $1,200 on Mevo, and I did spend some money on my phone. But you gotta have a phone. Spent some money on my computer. But I didn't get the best. I tried to, though. Yeah, I did try to get the best. I did, actually. So, I didn't, but I fell short, but I fell short enough. And I'm actually thinking about dropping a bigger I looked up hard drives. Replaced the SSD drive in my computer. $120 to take it up to 2 terabytes. I only got like 500 gigabytes in there, and it's running out of space, so I might do that. I might invest in that. I might just go ahead, order that, figure out how to clone it, and go that way. I might do that. Because I'm running out of space on a laptop, and it's a good laptop. Maybe I'll even put some more RAM in it, hell. For what? Do you do any work on it? Do you even use it? I do use it. Now, so don't even go there. Because I do use it. But, and like I said, it's not about bragging. And if it was, I'd tell you, it's probably more that I'm proud. I'm proud of the life I got. I mean, even to my job. Had a meeting yesterday with my boss. My job, family. I think today is the 22nd. Happy birthday, George Clinton. P-Funk, all of that. Pittsburgh Steelers, Funketeers ball, September. go back. I'd say, oh, another thing too. Let me just say also that this might be a euphoria for having just dropped them off. Having just dropped the family off. You know, and they're at the airport now. But they at the airport kind of way early. I got them, I didn't do it intentionally, but I got them there. They were like almost 4 hours early. And they fly on Breeze. And Breeze is kind of like Frontier or whatever, where they like share a terminal. They actually just share a terminal number. The terminal ain't even in one, but they just use one to go in and out of. And you gotta like, you stage in a place, literally stand in a place and wait. Then they get you and they take you, put you on a bus. And they take you someplace to where your gate is at. And then you gotta like walk, and there's a bus, and all kinds of stuff. So it's not like straightforward, because I was like, Frontier did that to me. And then I'm like, do Southwest people gotta go through this? I was like, here, stand here, wait here. We had us all lined up here, and then they got the bus. So I wanna see how, you know, it is flying out on Breeze. I don't think I flew out on Breeze. I flew back on Breeze, but I didn't fly out. And then flying back into LAX in Pittsburgh, it was a trip because you had to walk 8 miles and then get on a bus. And I wasn't having that. And I asked my daughter, I said, was that cool? She said it was cool to save the money. She wasn't worried about it. Wasn't no big deal to her. Me, I'm probably bougie. I'm like, hey, I'll pay, damn it, not to do this. I'll pay. Then I started thinking, would I pay $100 not to have to go through this? No. Would I pay $50 not to go through this? No. 25 maybe. You know, just to be able to hit the terminal and go. Or how much would I pay to hit the terminal, land, and be right there instead of having to walk at all? I mean, I walk for a living. But all the walking and steps I be taking, you know, what are you talking about? But it's just a matter of being, I might be bougie. I might be spoiled. You know, there's no doubt about that. I might be spoiled. Out here getting steps late. So I'm not gonna be able to get home an hour early. Get home 15 minutes. I got it set so I get home like 15 minutes before I'm supposed to punch in. I went in there, put the food away. As soon as I got to the house, I got to put the food away in the refrigerator and stuff. And then I got my laptop up and cut it on, got it connected, let it do what it needs to do. I just like to have that. I like to have my laptop running and connected to the network, because if there's any updates or anything it needs to do, I want it to do it. So I wanted to, you know, get it in, get it connected, log into Windows, just let it boot up and start doing this stuff, and I'm out here, let it sit there for an hour or whatever it needs to do, talking to the network, even though I just used it yesterday still. But anyway, Breeze Airlines has the nonstop routes, and I checked the nonstop route from when I go back in September, you know, for the Funketeers Ball or whatever. One thing I found out, they don't fly to Baltimore or DC, but Pittsburgh, $99 one way, nonstop. It was like 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. or something like that on a Wednesday or something like that. But you know, $99 one way. I'm just saying. And then I probably can catch it on a Saturday or something. But anyway, Breeze Airlines, got the credit card. I think I should be up to about $900 to spend 1,000 and get 40,000 points. So I'll probably break that 40,000 points and get my ticket for Funketeers Ball going back when I go back in September. You know, stay Funketeers Ball, either go to Ohio first, then go to Funketeers Ball, or go to Funketeers Ball, then go Ohio, or maybe even go in the middle. I don't know, drive down there and drive back. I don't know. No, I ain't gonna be no driving down, driving back. It might be, I don't know, 5-6 hours. Drive up Sunday. Cause Sunday, you know, I'm gonna travel Sunday. I don't know. You know what I mean? Sunday you ain't doing nothing anyway. Just, you know, drive to a place you usually ride. I don't know. We'll see. But, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's just good. And I probably, going through the euphoria and excitement of having them drop them off and getting back to my sanctuary, getting back to, you know, the routine, getting back to just Jeffrey. And it wasn't, I didn't have the, I guess you might want to call it an anxiety. Not anxiety, but I don't like to call myself an anxiety. You know, I don't like to put that term on myself, even though it might be. You know, a lot of times I be places, I be wanting to go home bad. I be wanting to go home bad. I be wanting to go home so bad. Like, oh, I need to be by myself. You know, and that has hit me more than once, a couple of times, very bad, to the point where be like, I gotta do something, I gotta get away, you know. And that didn't happen. You know, and there was a couple of times I even stopped to keep myself in the moment. Had to stop and made myself, you know, breathe and enjoy the moment and not be anticipating, ooh, I can't wait till I get to this place, or, you know, I even was probably dreaming about being here right now, walking on this when I get back. You know, I was probably even thinking about that. Good chance, very good chance. But you know how I go. I'm back. Thought some entertainment was going to go down, but it didn't. Anyhow, what's the girl say? And so it's just good to feel good. And I had a meeting with my boss yesterday, and, you know, just talking to her and just the whole, and I was just expressing how good it felt to be happy doing my job. Just how good it felt to be happy doing my job. And the days go faster, and things, I don't want to say they seem easy, but that's kind of like the word I mean. And to actually be seeing the production and the performance numbers that I'm used to, I mean, yeah, well, the numbers I saw was top. The numbers I looked at, because we could look over my numbers for the past week, and we can, you know, we can just make a little snapshot of the last week. And, you know, I was number one. I was top in most of the categories, or the significant categories. And it's good to be back to that. It's good to be back to that person, because that's who, I don't want to say that's who I am, but you know what I mean? That's kind of who I am. I'm that guy. Now, I've said to myself, and I've contemplated, well, if you're dominating to this degree for so long, maybe it's time to move on to something else. Maybe it's time to get something more challenging. Maybe the challenge still isn't there, but I still enjoy it. I still feel challenged by it. I don't feel like I'm completely punching down or whatever, playing in a remedial league. I feel like, you know, there's some ballers in the game where I'm at still. In fact, I just saw who the former, well, I won't call him challenger. It's not really, see, I don't want to call it a challenger, but who the next guy is who's, you know, putting up some numbers. I'm like, oh, okay. Because I knew who the guy was before, but he went on to be a level 2. You know, some of these cats come in inspiring, you know, to go up the chain and become a level 2. I'm like, and he had it, and I liked the dude. He had a little charisma. I even told him, I said, how come you knowing everybody? How come you be saying, how you know him? How you be knowing everybody? People be coming up talking to you. Huh? I'm watching you, making moves. I said, I'm watching you. I said, you trying to make moves. You trying to go someplace. And I teased another co-worker who was doing escalations and doing something. I was like, you're aspiring. And I shouldn't do that. I mean, we tease. We could, there's got to be a certain level of teasing. It's natural, I think. You got to have some playfulness in it, but you probably should keep it professional, keep it respectful. Don't, especially in this environment. I just respect the environment so much. But I love my job. So I'm thinking, I work for the second largest law firm on the planet. I'm doing help desk. And let me just say now, this is help desk. This is not a call center. What I'm doing is not a call center. This is help desk. We talking about trained folks, highly skilled folks out there doing this. This is not a call center or, like 1,000 of us sitting around the world, whatever, reading a script. No, we're analysts. Everybody got game. We got a lot of tools and resources at our disposal. In fact, I may have never had this much quote unquote power or authority on the network or as much tools at my disposal ever. And so it's prestigious. I think it's a prestigious position. And I'm doing it, let's say, again, I probably brought this up before, but I'm bringing it up again, so it must be something to it. I know I said it before, I'm bringing it up again. If I'm working for one of the second largest premier law firms on the planet, and I'm doing a job maybe better or as good as anybody who's doing it with me at this level, where does that put me in the scope of my career? Or, obviously going someplace else. Or, because one thing my buddy did say, he said, all we gotta do, we get a job in 2 seconds. Walk down the street, get another job. Just based on, our experience and this and that. We almost guaranteed to have another job. But my thing was, when I was going through my thing, whatever, is that the other job I get would be doing the same thing as this. I just go to another company. And I don't want to do that. This is the best company ever. This is the best company ever. And I don't think I'll get this anywhere else. I don't think I'll find this kind of culture, this kind of professionalism, this kind of whatever, ever. The only thing about this, if it's anything, ain't too much sports. Ain't no sports. Ain't no gambling. Ain't no overt gambling. Because every place I work, we used to have pools. Oh my God. We had pools and get the cards, parlay cards, boxes, squares for Super Bowl games, NBA championship, all that. This place, it was like 3 years before somebody even mentioned sports or something like that. But I was just looking at the house. I was looking at the flowers, and I was trying to see if were those the same flowers that me and granddaughter got when we go on our walk. I was like, is that the same flowers? I wonder if it's the same variety or the same species or whatever you call it. Because they look the same. I was like, is that the same? Because I got her. We got white, purple, pink, yellow, and red flowers. And she'd hold them. And actually, she held them in her hand for like almost 40 minutes on that ride. Doing whatever she was doing, she held them in her hand. And then she was gonna give them to her mother, whatever. And then she said, can I walk? I was like, yeah, you can walk, because we get kind of close. When we get close, she said, can I walk? I said, you can walk. And she put them down when she got out that stroller. So, she put them down on her tray and stuff. She got out and walked. So, I have those experiences, I had those memories. And for me, it's not that I'm not happy to have them. I mean, it's fun. I enjoy it, you know. It's also, I don't want to say more practical, but there's also a responsibility. There's metrics and accomplishments, or how can I say it? There's like duty. There's like things we need to accomplish and to be. And, you know, even my daughter almost 40, but I'm still, you know, you can't just tell them what to do anymore. You kind of like guide them without guiding them. And you want to see them develop. You know, to me, it's still not training or teaching, but it's development. I'm still, the goal, the number one thing is to develop the family into something. That'll never stop, I don't think. So that's what I really look at. You know, family, yeah, but we got a job to do. And I'm just do your job. You know, I just set a standard. I try to set a standard. They know what I expect, you know, but I don't tell them what to do anything, but they know how I do things. You know, I very well let them know how I do this. If I do that, I do that. Notice how I put this away. When I do this, I go here, I go there. You know, I make sure I do this, and this is how I do that. You know, you don't tell them what to do. You just show them. Say, hey, you know. And they pick up on it. Because to me, it's still about family development. And now we got granddaughter, turn her into something. And I know I need to get with the grandsons, because they may have potential. I see some stuff in grandson number one trying to be a scientist and being all nerdy and knowing all these dinosaur names and liking bugs and knowing that dinosaurs eat meat and stuff like that for his age. I think he's like 2. You know, I'm like, okay, I see something. And grandson number 2 is just happy all the damn time. He's just so aware. The way he's looking around, you know, see, he's just aware, you know, just looking around and stuff and seeing stuff. Even at a very young age, he was like, seemed to have is the word perception or whatever? Early. Let me see what time it is. Is my alarm supposed to go off? 10:53. I got 3 minutes for the alarm to go off. You know, so to me, it's about development. It's like no celebrating. You know, no end zone dance shit. You know, we have fun. You know, we rode the roller coaster. We did this and we did that. Rode the tilt-a-whirl. You know, her first amusement park, her first roller coaster. You know, she hang out. My sister went, so she got to hang out with her aunt Laura. You know, it was just fun. You know, and it was fun, and it was work, and there was development. That's a good way to put it. It was, oh, we didn't have these kind of flowers. I don't think we've seen these kind of flowers there. So you got me looking at flowers. Granddaughter got me looking for flowers. And all of a sudden I'm worried about flowers. See, that's one thing about family and stuff. They affect you. They affect you, and it's a good thing. People gonna say, don't you want to do that's a good thing that you think about your granddaughter? No, it's not. There's a distraction is what it is. Because remember, we got a goal. There's a goal in mind here. We're trying to get to a place. They don't need any clutter or distractions. And that's probably roughly the way I think about some of the gooey stuff in families. In fact, it's probably not even a little bit. That's probably a lot of the way I think about the gooey stuff. This is the way I used to walk. This is the way I used to walk before I went the other way. Start going, because I didn't want to cross that. I didn't want to cross Goldwater. Just Goldwater? I didn't want to cross Fulton because of the lights. So I would come up this way and by making 2 rights and not have to deal with a light. So this is the way I used to come for, not years, but probably, you know, like a long bunch of, maybe like years. And then I said, all right, I'm gonna start going this way because I found out the light ain't that bad. And then you get to walk probably a little farther. And, you know, it's nice to be off of the freeway. It's nice to be off the street. But anyhow, like I said, it's about development for me. That's the key. I want to look back and say, oh, there goes the time to turn around. I already turned around. So I should get back a little bit earlier. I should get back like at 10:43, 11:43. Got to punch in at 12, so I should be able to grab some breakfast. I'm not gonna shower or nothing. Just still wear the same clothes and do my 8 hours, baby. Do my 8 hours. Finish that up. Yeah, I'm thinking about that Black and Mild and that food, and just be able to sit in my recliner, put the fire stick, and just sit and get back to that, because it's been, you know, since I left last Thursday. So it was Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, 5 days, which may not seem like a lot to you. No, it was fun. We had a good time. We really, like I said, I'm blessed, highly favored, however you want to call it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I know my life is good. I mean, let's just stop playing and acting like it ain't, you know. I know it is. And my job, I was just so happy. I mean, it just feels so good. I mean, even before she showed me the numbers, I was like, it's good to be back. It's good to be back to being this person, you know? And I'm just doing the job. And I'm not saying it's effortlessly, but it's not hard. It's not hard, and there's a flow. And there is a challenge to it. It's not easy. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not easy. And maybe what makes it feel easy is that I can step up mentally and psychologically, physically, whatever, to the challenge, you know, and overtake the challenge. And at a vibration in the work, I'm back to a working vibration and frequency to where I can handle it. Damn, it felt good. And I looked at them numbers she showed me. Just smoking. And then I come out here, I'm hanging with granddaughter, me and her. You know, we had to work on our relationship. She was getting a little bit too, you know, what's the word? Not friendly, but too, like I said, it's my fault. And I said before, it comes a time where you gotta like curb playing with them. Yeah, I even told my boss during the meeting, you know, because we talk about things. I said, you gotta curb the playing with them, you know, because they don't know when to stop, and it's not fair. You know, they don't know when to stop, you do. But once you start, you know, you done taught them that. You basically done taught them that. And she still do stuff to me that I taught her. I know, you know, she, like my daughter say, look, they be picking with each other. One to be over there, the other one be over there, and they'll walk over there, she'll walk over with me and just do something that she know that, you know, or vice versa. But we kind of, I toned it down a little bit. I said, all right, look, because she did something. She kicked me. That's what she did. You know, she was just playing. You know, like I said, they don't know the limits. It's hard, you can't teach them the limits at that age. You know, what's the difference between me kicking you and blah, 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 we was just doing before? You know, it's kind of hard for them to negotiate and navigate that. So you just got to cut it off. At least I did. And, you know, I had to do before my other cousins. You know, so I had to talk. I said, look, you don't kick me. You know, her mother was there. And I had to, like, you know, let her know with that voice. And I hit her back, you know, didn't hit her back, but, you know, just, you know, tapped her back, say, look, we got to stop doing that. And she started crying, and her mother's like, you okay? And her mother, you know, real tears too. You know, then 3 minutes later, you know, it's forgotten, and we back to You know, a little bit different though, a little bit different. I said, look, we gotta be nice to each other. We gotta start being nice. We gotta start being nice. But every now and then I'll walk by and, you know, do something, but not as frequently. You know, I might go by and like touch her hair, grab her hair. She want me to do it. I mean, it's a game, you know, but it's just that, you know, when it's time to stop, like if she said, if we walk, I said, I'm gonna put you in the cactus. She's like, no. I said, go to the cactus, go to the cactus. You know, just teasing her like that, taunting her. It's kind of fun to her, but you know, she gets that little reaction. It's good to see her have that kind of reaction where she can not stand up to herself, but come up with a no, you know, be able to put that down if she got to practice that even. But then, you know, when you tired and you ready to quit, and you ready to like, okay, I need for you to go do this. You know, stop playing. You know, when it's time to stop playing, you can't get mad when they don't stop playing. That's what I'm saying. When it's time to stop playing, you can't really get mad when they don't stop playing. Because they don't know. She's 3. You know. So you just gotta set, you know, a little, whatever it is. And I did, and we got better. And we'll look at each other, and I'll be like, be nice. Or I'll walk by, she'll like do something. I'll be like, be nice. I said, we gotta be nice to each other now. I said, it's the new us. We gotta be nice to each other. But, you know, cause she'll win. She got the energy, she'll win. I can't win. I can't win. She'll win. She'll just keep going and going and going and going and going. My God, does she keep going and going and going and going. My God, I mean, all until she dropped out. It was just amazing. It was just simply amazing. The energy just jumping around, loud and noise, and oh, Jesus. I was like, wow, bumping into stuff, banging on stuff, just constantly, you know. But that's part of it. And that kind of energy and that kind of openness, you know, I may have played a role in her developing that. Let's just be honest. I may have had something to do with her being that open and maybe wild, expressive, free. And I don't think it's nothing bad, especially since I can see, she knows how to act and when not to act. If it's like people around, other people around, even during my meeting with my boss, when she saw my boss on the screen in the Zoom meeting, she kind of, you know, shied up a little bit. So she know. And so you really can't fault her for that. But if it's her and her mother, woo! Her mother gets it all. Her mother gets all the emotions, everything. You know, that we in the house, she be screaming. And she got comfortable at my mother's house after a day or two, just screaming. Not screaming like screaming, but just loud and noise and having a good time. You see her playing by herself and just, oh my God. And I've been eating quiet. But I'm getting better and better. I think I'm starting to need less and less. Because I've been eating quiet, that stuff be bothering me. And also what I'm learning too is when I'm working, shut the door. Working, no distractions. I think that's a big part of that. I'm gonna have to realize or admit or blah, 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 that the no distractions while I'm working may be a big reason, may be a big thing. Maybe a big thing. You know, I reprioritize my activities during work, cut out all the other stuff, get comfortable with it, and You know, it's just easy. I don't want to say easy. It doesn't take as much effort. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to, jinx it, basically. You know, I don't want to jinx it, but, I be doing my thing. So that's that. And me and my daughter, we having fun. It's even fun being around her. And there was a time when it wasn't. Yeah, there was a time when I didn't want to be around nobody. And it wasn't that I was just in a bad mood or I might have been no, I wasn't depressed or nothing. I just think I just didn't enjoy other people's company more than I enjoyed mine. And not to say that I enjoy my daughter's company more than I enjoyed mine, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. I guess it's been granddaughter, oh God. Oh my gosh, she's just so much. It's so much. Like I said, but then to see her, knowing she getting on airplanes, knowing she know what, just seeing that development. That development is what gets me off. Seeing that development, learning stuff. See that? Look at that. You're experiencing that and that. And when she go back, Youngstown or whatever, and go to school, she been here, she been there. She been on airplanes, she know this, she been to California, blah, 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 blah. She been on rides, And then swimming yesterday. It was yesterday. My daughter had her in the pool, because my daughter wanted to go swim. And granddaughter don't like no water in her face at all. No, not even a splash. In fact, something splashed in the shower or something one time. She broke out for real. She broke out of that. She jumped out of that tub and was gone, and not in like a fun play way. It was. You can see it was the movement of an animal with fear or shock, or it was real. I was like, whoa, okay. She don't like water in her face at all, but she got to get used to, So she was floating. I don't think her head ever went underwater, but she was floating by herself. And that's why Kimberly walked way far from her. I saw Kimberly walk way far from her in the pool. Kimberly ain't scared. Kimberly's talking about, I want to throw her in. Kimberly was like, I want to throw her in. Should I throw her in? I ain't got the heart to do it. She's like, you throw her in. I said, I can't do it. If Kimberly want to. She said, I want to throw her in. I said, no. They said, that's how you're supposed to do it, though. But, that's that development, just to go from point A to point B, become better and better and better. Develop it to carry on my legacy. Somebody I can be there to help carry on my legacy that I can develop and grow into, like my niece. I gave her, feed her parts and bits of it and let them know. In fact, I got to update my file that I got. I got a document where, people can get to a lot of my stuff and they got access to it. My daughter and her daughter. I didn't even give it to my sister. How come I didn't give it to my sister? That's the one I should have gave it to, come to think about it. I gave it to, why did I give it to, I gave it to the next generation, I guess. I gave it to the next generation. I think that was in my mind. I guess I should have gave it to my sister too, now that I think about it. Because she's probably the one who's gonna be doing all the legal stuff and arrangements and all that. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, I'll probably be older. Probably my daughter go through it. And I told her when she was with my mother, I said, yep, go practice, go in there and practice. Get used to seeing how it is dealing with somebody, who's elderly or, going through what she's going through. You got to do it with me. Go in there and get you some practice. And learn how they ask you for stuff that you don't understand. And then ask you, just the mental capacity, not mental capacity, but the mental capability. You know, they ask you the same thing 2-3 times. Or they may ask you something you don't understand. And they're gonna get mad at you for you not understanding them, or, you know, them taking you the wrong, you taking them taking you the wrong way, or either way, how that goes. You know, so get used to it. Because you're gonna have to take care of me. You might as well practice. Yeah. Whew. It's good. It's good. It's good. It really is. And I know it is. It's good. And then, like I said, it might be the euphoria of me being back home, you know, having gotten through, I don't want to say haven't gotten through that, but in a way it is, you know, having gone through that, the whole experience. Because see, when they're out there, it's not that they under me, but I'm kind of responsible. You know, and I feel like I step up and take that responsibility. You know, you want things to be right to a degree. And you want to put things in place for them, you know, make sure that, because they'll tell you, you better have this ready, this better be good, this is what we want, you know, to a degree. Joking, but, you know, letting you know. They coming out here, because when I go to my daughter's house, I'm set, you know, so I definitely owe her. You know, my daughter's house, I'm pretty much set. And here, she come here and try to accommodate as much as I can, and that's normal. See, that's normal for people in families and social things that I'm a little bit distanced from. You know, regular people do that all the time. And they're used to it, you know. You know. Who da. I was just thinking, if I take that logo and flip it over and put it on the other side, no, because see, what I want to do is put a picture up there and see me. Anyway, I shouldn't be talking technical logistics. Then I say I need to throw these tennis shoes away. I got an old pair of tennis shoes, bunch of them. That probably need to throw away. What I do is I put like another insole in it or something, and they feel okay. I'm probably not getting the support I need or whatever, but they feel okay. They don't hurt. It seems like they got a little bit of tread on them. One thing though, they so slick on the bottom. Any water, slippery, super slippery. Any water, it's like slip away. Well, not slip away, but you know. So, that's life. That's my life. Very happy with it, very satisfied. Very satisfying experience being Jeffrey Scott Mitchell. I really enjoy it. And to reiterate as I do when I make this statement, it's not so much that I love me. It's not so much that. I might not even understand the concept of loving me. But there's no doubt in my mind that I love being me. I love being Jeffrey Scott Mitchell and what Jeffrey Scott Mitchell is and has become. Nothing is better or more important. And I can say that in all honesty to the point that where the key tenet of Jeffreyism may be something like that. There's nothing above a conscious being becoming that which it desires to be, which goes along with, there's nothing that I cherish and love more than being who I am. And the books I'm reading about philosophy and stuff kind of point that consciousness. That's almost the definition of consciousness, because they still don't quite understand what it is, how it works or anything. How particles, atoms, molecules, etc. become consciousness. They're really not sure how all that works. Synapses and brains and thinking and this and that. They really haven't figured that out yet. You know how it works in kind of a detail. They can explain many functions of the brain and different parts of the body, but they're very hard. They call it the hard problem, in fact. That's what they call it, the hard problem. And that, my consciousness, is probably what I'm really, really saying when I say being Jeffery. That may be the very thing that I'm saying, what I mean when I say being Jeffery. Anyway, that's the story for today. That's the story for today, as it goes, as it is now. Again, it might be the euphoria of returning home, dropping them off, getting back to my routine, getting back to my sanctuary, getting back to my quote-unquote happy place, coming home, unpacking. You know, I love to unpack. I love to go through that whole thing. You know, there's no doubt about that. So, be in transition to build, rebuild. You know, since I'm working, I probably won't. And I admit yesterday, or the other day, or maybe some yesterday, I did do some extracurricular stuff. A little bit. And I am going to be aware of the slippery slope. I am going to be aware of the slippery slope of it all, and to monitor it, make sure I don't get back to where I was before. But you know, eventually I was going to start doing something. First few days I wasn't doing nothing. First few days I wouldn't touch any of it, you know. When you know, how you start off gung-ho, and then you kind of trail off. Then you kind of, you know, to ease up on yourself, you little drip, drip, drip. Next thing you know, it's pouring because you done let slippery slope back into your old ways. Mr. Scale told me 204.6 today. Very happy about that number. You know what? Monday I was 206 something. Yesterday I was 206, right? And I was disappointed. The Monday before I was 210. And I'm still disappointed at 206. I'm still disappointed at 206. But the weekend before I was 210. But I did some crazy stuff the weekend before. I think it was a 3-day. I think it was on a 3-day weekend and I was just eating crazy or whatever. But I was like 212 Sunday night. Woke up 210 Monday. So I was 204.6 this morning, which I was happy with. And so I'm not gonna be able to weigh myself after this walk, because it could go down to 202 something, 2018 or something, like 202 something. A lot of it's water weight, granted. A lot of it's water weight. But still, I still like seeing them low numbers. So, and I got probably not the best selection of food that I'm gonna have after work tonight. Because more than likely, because I was up at 4 a.m. I was awake at 4 a.m. for whatever reason. I think we all were. We was all up you know, in our own prospective areas, like 4 or 5 a.m. And we're supposed to get up at 6 to get going. And so I've been going, and I drove 2.5 hours to LAX, and drove another hour to get here. Up since 4 a.m. I was in the bed, got up at 6 a.m. officially. And I might have rolled over and took another nap. But it's gonna catch up to me, we'll see. It's gonna catch up to me, but it'll be one click, one ticket at a time. You know, just one interaction at a time. That's what we call them, interactions. And just let the day go. Relax and let the day go. Let the day come to me. And then, you know, get my steps in during my break. Back to the routine. Maybe have some watermelon. My sister got this different kind of watermelon. It's like an orange watermelon. It's like not red, it's almost like orange inside, but it's watermelon-y, but it's like orange melon or something like that. It's pretty tasty. Got one in the freezer. May chop it up and do something, you know, with my grits, and gonna do my grits and kibasi for breakfast, you know, water, start the day off. And it's gonna be different because right after I get back after this walk, I'm basically start working. I'm gonna have that hour where I shower and relax. I basically have to go in there. I might wipe off. I don't even have time to take a shower, to be honest with you. Might just be able to squeeze it. I definitely could squeeze a shower in, I bet. I might, and then I could weigh myself. And then I might. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. Cause you know, I'm a shower person. Always been. Ever since I went to the first hotel and they had showers, I was like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. Bathtubs was fun. Used to get a bathtub, have fun. You know, when I was younger. But showers, I'm a shower person, in and out, boo-boo. And sometimes I can be sitting around the house, not really doing nothing, and pretty much quote unquote clean, you know, still clean, but I'll still shower before I go out. Just, it's like a symbolic gesture, just to wet myself and wipe off. You know, maybe not even use soap. In fact, I don't use soap. I ain't used soap in this year probably. I ain't used soap. I stopped using soap way back. You know what? My shower is nowhere near as dirty as it used to be. My shower is just nowhere near as dirty as it used to be. I just rinse and wipe off. I probably ain't used soap this year. Probably only used it like probably 3 times last year. Something like that. Don't use deodorant no more either. You know, we used to get that Old Spice stick, Old Spice deodorant, whatever. I think that's the they got the commercial. Old Spice, that used to be my go-to. Used to love that stuff. I think I still probably got bottles of it. Cause I buy them, not buy them bulk, but if it was on sale, I'd buy a whole bunch. Then I just stopped using it and you still got them. So I might have some still in there. I ain't used deodorant since COVID. And since I'm by myself, I don't care if I stink. You know, I ain't worried about it. And just to be honest, even if I was with somebody, I probably wouldn't care. Let's just be real. Why don't we? So, what I should do is go by the store. So I don't gotta go out tonight after work. But I should go by the store. Yeah, I might. But I'm cutting it 15 minutes. I'm cutting it. I can't. I don't have enough time. I mean, I probably do, but it don't take that long. I don't know. somebody made a mess. I don't know. I should go to the store. I should go squeeze it in. That way I ain't got to go out tonight after work. And I can get to bed early because I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be tired. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go. Get that taken care of. Don't have to worry about it. And then hopefully if I can get home and take a shower, that'd be cool. If not, I'll just wipe off or something. But I would love to take a shower. Well, I can take a shower even after oh yeah, I'll do it. We're gonna get it all in and get breakfast. I'm just so used to leaving myself so much time. I'm just so used to leaving myself so much time that I feel pressured when I don't have like an hour. When I don't have like an hour to do what I need to do, I feel like there's undue pressure. Probably that I put on myself. This is probably the case. It's just the way I do it. So I'm gonna go by here. Get my black and miles. Get 4 black and miles like I usually do. That way I ain't gotta do it after work, because I'm down to 1. And 1 ain't enough. That way I get off work and I ain't gotta go nowhere. I got chicken, I got noodles, I got food that I brought. You know, everywhere I go, I bring home food. And this wasn't the biggest haul. This wasn't the biggest booty. But I got some. Mom said, look at you, you gonna eat for a week. I was like, yeah, maybe. You know, just knowing I've done, you know, much better hauls than that. But, whew, it was good. We got the house cleaned up. Still need to do some work on the house. You know, maybe, it'd be nice if I was to fly my son out here and they stay and we work in the house. That'd be, you know, say, hey, come out, get some time, we do some work on Randy's house and I pay for this, pay for that, maybe even pay you, blah, 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 you know. I don't know. I know him, he probably want to come out to California and do California stuff, you know, show out, show his girl and stuff out, and his sons. But anyway, swinging on y'all 2 times. For me, for funk. For every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom in this or any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.